How do I export Excel table from my ClickUp account? This is the question that we're going to be answering in this video, so let's dive into this. In order to export a table as an Excel file or the Google Sheet file or the CSV file from your ClickUp, you need to first go to your ClickUp account. This is obviously where it all starts. We need to select the list where we want this data to be exported from. In this example, I'm going to use the export from ClickUp list. Over here, you can see I have a lot of tasks which are tracking all my project. I also have a bunch of custom fields that I added in here. In order to export it as an Excel, I need to click on the customize button at the right hand side, right top corner of the list view. I need to scroll down to see the export view button in here. As I click this export view, it will show me the pop-up window in which it will ask me what to export. Now I can export all the visible columns, which means these are the columns that are added to this specific view. In this case, I have just a couple of them, let's say 3. And let's say I have more columns that are not visible in this view, but I want to only show these columns that I have right now. So I'm going to select visible columns. If I want to have task names only, I'm going to select that. If I'm going to want to all the columns, meaning all the custom fields that are part of this list, even if they're not visible in this view, are going to be part of the export. So let me try with that. I'm going to select all columns. I'm going to click on Excel. You can also select the CSV file. And if you want to upload that later on to your Google Sheets, you can easily do that, whether with CSV or with Excel. Both formats will work fine for Google Sheets. But again, for Excel file, I'm going to select the Excel in here. And the last question is total time in status. Now, in order for you to enable this feature, you need to first go, let me quickly show you, to your App Center over here. You need to click and find the time in status add-on, which is going to look something like this. And you need to make sure that you turn this switch on before you export this. If you don't turn this switch on, the export will not have the time in status information at all. So even if you select current only or total by status, you're not going to have those data points inside your exported file just because you didn't enable it as part of your ClickUp account. So if you want to see that data, make sure to enable this feature. And then as soon as I'm ready to export the file, I'm going to click on download over here at the bottom. Now let me quickly show you what the export looks like and what's the difference when you select the current only, time and status versus the total by status inside your export for the total time in status. All right, so this is how the Excel export looks like. You can see it gives us the breakdown by statuses. This is exactly what we had in our view in ClickUp. Now, if we didn't have the grouping functionality or grouping settings in our ClickUp list, it would not be part of the export. So make sure that you update the list view with how you see data in ClickUp to see it in Excel in the same format or in the similar format. So over here, I have all the tasks with their IDs. And the only difference between the total time in status, when you see all statuses, you will see the statuses broken down by to do, in progress, and complete. Again, this is the statuses that I have inside my list. Now, when it comes to selecting the status only or the time in status for the current status, this is what your export is going to include. It will only include the time in status for this current status that the task is in. So in this example, if the task is in progress, this is the time in status that it's going to show you. It's not going to show you the time and status for all the previous statuses that you have. So that's really the only difference that you have in there if you enable that ClickUp in your account. But as soon as you have this Excel file exported, you can do whatever you want with it. You can upload this data to any other platform for data reporting purposes, maybe for your data management, whatever the case might be. This is how you do data export and export Excel tables from your ClickUp account. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video very, very soon.